Everyday Mom Challenge. This is episode 118, starting to plan for my homeschool. This is such an exciting time for me and my family, and I cannot tell you how my brain will not shut off. Like, it goes 1,000 miles a second. If I could turn around and show you my table, it's completely just spread all out with things that I've been going through, looking through, making notes. I also have my prayer journal, which I'm going to keep as homeschool mom. And I kind of wanted to share with you the way I'm preparing myself for a month, because my babies are going to be starting September the 1st. I'm going to have an 8th grader and a 3rd grader. Now, my 8th grader, he actually homeschooled with me 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. So he pretty much knows what he's about to step into again. If you watch one of my earlier videos, it talks about like how the prayers brought us to this point. But my baby, who's now going into 3rd grade, this is going to be a new experience for him. But I'm going back, looking through some of the old folders that I kept for Solomon, and I came across, some of the just exciting things that we did, and it's such an encouragement to me to see how much I packed into a week of learning for my child, and I know that it was such a successful time for him academically. Okay, so I'm going to share with you some tips that I have. I think that as we begin to plan, we need to take different avenues into consideration. The first is supplies. So I will tell you, like, every time that we go to a store, I say pick one supply out. So that way we don't have a whole bunch of things that we need. So it kind of helps to plan along. One of those days, Sam, I said, no, you're going to have to pick your journal book for today. That's going to be our goal when we go shopping. And he found this Animal Planet one. He loves animals. So he's already got his journal ready. Now, the thing about this is I don't allow them to open any of the supplies yet. And it's really hard for Sam especially, because he's wanting to tear into everything. But I'm like, no, this is our collection that we're going to start with our school. So yes, this one is actually still in the pack. Another day we went, now you have to get your sketchbook. So every time that we go to the store, I'll think of something on the way that I will tell them, this is something that you have to look for to add to our collection. So that's, to me, a big help. But I have so much more glue and color pencils, and I got a markers one day. So it's like each time I go, you might think that's weird, but that's how I work. Another thing that I've been collecting, and you can see I have not opened these yet, are family games, because it is very important for us to have that time of cooperation and teamwork and just fun together. So much learning takes place while you're playing games, and I actually like playing them too. But I have a whole cabinet that is just set aside that I've been collecting games, and games that we've had, Monopoly, Life, Apples to Apples. We've got these. We've got Pictionary. Scrabble's one of my favorite. But I'm not opening these games. Puzzles for Sam. I've started collecting things like that for him to do, but I'm not opening them for a reason, because I don't want us to all do everything. Like, when you go to the grocery store and you bring in the yogurt and the apples and the oranges and everything, and Sam is the type of kid, he wants to try it all at one time. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to work through each one each week. We'll have one game a week, and we'll start then we'll pick our favorites, and then we'll rotate. But there's going to be days on it, like it's 100 degrees outside today. I'm not going outside playing basketball. I'm not doing that. I'm throwing the football around. But there will be days when we're going to want to do that, especially in the fall of the year. We're going to be outside every day, riding our bikes or going outside to play, but I still have these games on hand if we choose to do that, or if it's raining or something we can't get outside. Another thing that I have been collecting, Dollar Tree has some really great things in the education section on that line, and they have the greatest little books. So anytime I see anything for Sam's age, I'm grabbing, because that collection of library is limited because Solomon was on 4th grade reading level in kindergarten, so he was reading advanced books, early on. So I didn't have as many lower level readers, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade level readers, and with Sam I'm going to need those. So I have been just really collecting a library, and I'm making a special bookshelf for Sam where he's going to have to read 20 minutes a day. That's one of my have-tos. I'm going to talk about my have-tos. But I'm going to make special reading shelves for each child, and it's going to be not just, they're going to leave space for us when we go to the library every week, but, their collection of books that they can go to for their 20-minute a night reading for their reading logs. Another thing I've been collecting, like I found this at Big Lots. It was marked down for $5. I've been collecting crafts and science experiment kits. When you go to Hobby Lobby or you go to places like that, they always have like clearance lines. I'm thinking way ahead, and I don't know how I'm going to use everything I buy, and in fact I may not, but I know I can find some kind of application for it. For example, the stones, when we do art, we do Greek architecture and Greek stonework. We're going to use that for our Greek unit, which is actually going to be ancient Greece. It's going to be our first one. So in my brain, I know we're going to be doing Bible. Now, I'm a King James reader, so the boys are going to have a King James version, but I also have, I wish I would have brought it in here. I've got everything in here. I wish I would have brought Solomon's comic Bible. It's called the Action Bible. He read it all the way through. I highly recommend the Action Bible. And we emailed the author, and he sent Solomon a letter back. But I found this years ago, and I just really like the way that it is set up. It's called The Bible Made Easy. I paid $5 for it. The Smart Guide to the Bible series. It's actually really pretty good. So I'm going to use this as my supplement to straight Bible reading. So, and I am going to start with the New Testament first. When I did this before, I made Solomon take notes. We drew pictures and images to connect ideas. We did comparative studies of the Gospels. We looked through key points of Paul. So it was like a lesson. And I learned so much too every time, because we're doing research as well as we do it. But this is a supplement guide, because Bible is going to be very important too. It's a part of the curriculum for me. So now that I know what we've got going on as far as science, I will tell you how that works. Like, you can already see that I'm collecting, and I'm starting to go through all of my books, and I'm starting to pull out everything that is science related to astronomy, because Solomon has chosen that he wants astronomy for his science for 8th grade. Now, I'm not going to say we're going to do astronomy the whole year. I'm probably going to do it in small chunk units. I like to plan everything by the month. That helps me keep everything organized, and it helps them know that, hey, I'm going to get to learn something new the next month. It keeps things fresh, exciting, and it's just such a wealth of knowledge that we can obtain throughout the school year. But I'm telling you that month-by-month planning, sometimes if it's going to be astronomy and it's so in-depth and Solomon is so embracing it and we need to go in further and further, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be open-minded, and I'm going to keep it going as long as we work through it and he's satisfied. But when we get to the end of the month, if we need to switch subjects and go on to physical science topics or oceanography or, all of Earth's environmental, we're going to be switching based upon how the end of the month, the units work. But because he chose astronomy, we decided that we're also going to do our Greek mythology, unit with that. So this is one of Solomon's books. He loves it. He's even talked about, he wants to be a chef, but he's even talked about, Mom, I would love to do some type of ancient cultures in college and have a double major. And he's very fascinated with that. So we're starting off our homeschool with mythology. That helps me when I start to plan. Okay, I'm going to go through my haves. I have to do this. My students have my students. I'm doing it again. I teach too, so it's hard. My babies have to have journal time. I'm going to tell you, I wrote to Solomon in cursive. Now I know my child is unique, but he kept writing and writing. I gave him a cursive guide, and I said, when you're writing it in your journal, then you are going to just play around with cursive, and one day it's going to work. And y'all, I'm serious. It just clicked with him one day, and my child started writing perfect cursive in his journal. He was like, look, Mom, it is beautiful. That was when he was in 3rd grade. So Sam's going on up into 3rd grade, and I have Sam, the journal. He's going to actually use the book. Solomon, he can make a choice. Solomon can, he did buy a book himself. Solomon has a journal book too. But there is a website called penzu.com. I've actually just played around on it because one of my best friends that lives in California, he told me he's using Penzu every day. So I'm going to give Solomon a choice. He can do penzu.com. He can create his own blog through WordPress, which is also free. Penzu is also free. Or he can stick to the traditional journal book. But Sam, I want Sam working on his handwriting, so I'm not going to give him those technology options yet. So that's one way that you can cater and differentiate between your children and their grade levels. We are definitely doing electives. Now, I told you about the games and the PE, the physical activity. Solomon also does an exercise routine that he strictly adheres to every day, not just with weights, but cardio. Sam also does cardio. I need to do more myself. But another elective that I do believe is so important is the art and music appreciation. So we're going to rotate those within our units. We're also going to be like investigating online some different types of electives that they can take. I talked to someone about computer elective, and he was like, we could just do research. I can do projects on the computer. I don't really want to take like a computer elective class because he's done that 2 years when he was at middle school. He's very proficient on the computer and programs, not programming, but programs. So other electives that they have available out there, it's just so many. It's just going to be based like Solomon wants to learn photography. So that's something that I'm going to invest for him in the future. Not right now, but we're going to work our way to that. So that's an idea of, you base it on your children's interests and needs, but they do also need to have some of this, the classics, the art and the music appreciation. Solomon plays guitar. When I homeschooled before, I made sure he had weekly lessons. Now he is pretty advanced in my opinion. I mean, he can play any song, and he does it very well. He's still shy. It doesn't like me to put him on YouTube, but I've got a lot of videos of my baby playing. But it's not going to be rock music 101, but it's going to be classical music. And so those are some electives. The DD, we're going to do documentary a day. I did this before, and I cannot tell you how much you can learn from National Geographic, the History Channel, Animal Planet. You can learn so much more visually watching a 45-minute documentary, and they could take out so much from the books. It ties everything all together. So I strongly encourage homeschool families to have those packages where they're able to watch those documentaries or do the $8 Netflix, because Netflix has just a slew of documentaries. When I went on earlier, And I was typing in Greek documentary titles. It's all there. It's just a wealth of knowledge. And I also have the ad, so I can get the DVDs that are not on the instant streaming. Okay, baby, cool. Are you? Oh. Okay, well, we didn't need to have to say his name. These names that these kids come up with on the Xbox, and oh my gosh. But a documentary a day, I think it's very, very important. And those will be times when we're sitting around the table and we're eating supper. It'll be, let's discuss what we learned in our documentary today, or we'll talk about it right then. I'm not going to like stop, pause, and do any more research unless it comes up and it's like that in a natural way. I'm going to make journal prompts from the documentaries. I'm going to have them do artwork and crafts, things to make that would reflect documentaries. So that's going to be built in, that they will have a documentary a day on their agenda. And this is an old agenda that I found. I don't know if you can really see it or not, but each baby is going to have their own typed agenda, and I'm also going to email it to them. So they're going to have this is going to be in the front of their sliding of their notebook each week. So they'll pull it out and they'll cross off, and I have one for every day of the week. Okay, something else that they're going to do, we have to do it every day, and it is vocabulary enrichment and development. So I've got 3rd grade, 8th grade. Solomon is high school level, so I have found the SAT words. Y'all, I love this website. I highly recommend it. It is free, vocabtest.com. Solomon's words, he would write his words, definitions, make his cards. He would take the test. His vocabulary was increasing just by leaps and bounds, and it helped me too. So I love vocabtest.com. For Sam, he's going to use Spelling City. That's what I'm going to start with Sam. But my friend today was showing me some other spelling programs that she has used and she has found to be successful, that were book spelling programs with tiles, magnetic tiles. But at the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and start him on the computer for Spelling City. And just see how it goes. And then if I find that he's not progressing, then I'm going to switch and find other things that are going to work for him. That's what's so beautiful about homeschooling, is that you can truly tailor it to your children's needs, interest, and academic levels. Solomon wants to be a chef, so he's already made the commitment that, Mama, now that you're going to be working and we're homeschooling at the same time, I'm really going to help out a lot more cooking. So we've talked about doing at least one meal a week. It's going to be a crock pot meal. So he's going to have to become really proficient in that. But he's my chef. So the cooking that we do, though, if we're going to be studying about ancient Greece or Greek in Roman times, he's going to be learning some Greek recipes, which I'm going to benefit from all of this too. So I'm sure that lamb and tzatziki sauce is going to be coming up, which I truly want to learn how to make. Field trips. Now, when I homeschooled before, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I got to go on field trips every week. I don't know how that's going to work in my schedule this time. I'm trying to be realistic when I plan. So I'm saying my goal is to do 2 field trips a month. I would love to do 4 a month, but there may just be a day when I have a paper that I need to write for my class, my doctorate class I'm taking, or I just might need a downtime in the weekend on one of the days, and I might feel like just kind of like staying in and sleeping. So I'm not going to commit to telling the boys right now we're going to do 4 field trips, but I am going to have a goal of doing 2 field trips a month. Now, I already know that, of course, when you heard me say astronomy, the first thing that came to my mind was planetarium. So I knew we were going to do a planetarium field trip, and we have many planetariums across our state that I have, an opportunity to be able to visit with the boys. So that's my one that I already know. That's my sure have to, that I know we're doing it. I've already wrote that down. So So that leaves us open for discussion on what is another one that could be applicable for our unit of study. And if we can't find anything for our unit of study, then we're just going to pick a fun field trip that's going to be educational and family oriented. That's going to be our time together. Craft activities. I showed you, like the stepping stones. I did a lot more when I was a stay-at-home mom, but I have decided now that I want to make sure I only do one craft activity a week, because that is time extensive for me. Now, it's time intensive for me to see it, especially Sam's age. Now, I could leave them some independent projects to do, which I'm sure that's going to fall into his agendas. But when it's like family time, I'm saying we're going to do one a week. And it actually might be on a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to get it in there. That's my goal. So I've went through these. This is like things that I know need to be built into my schedule every day. Or in my unit every month. So then that's where the typed agenda comes in. Now that I know that these are some of my items that we're doing, I'm such an English reader, a reading teacher. I forgot to tell you about my math programs that I like. I went ahead and pulled it up. It is worth it, trust me. Now you can do 20 free a day, but I love this program and I'm getting it for both kids. It's IXL, capital I, capital X, capital L.com. The school system uses it here, but I used it in homeschooling before I even saw it at the school system, and Solomon was all into it, and it's multiple levels, and you can work up and down, and it gives you automatic feedback. Purple Math can be pulled up too. If there's an area of weakness, they can get on Purple Math and Khan Academy, and they will be able to then practice those skills that they need extra help with an online tutor that's not personal, but it's through videos and descriptions. So that is the math homework. Now that's not going to be the math instruction. IXL, Khan Academy, and Purple Math are the supplemental parts of my math curriculum. I actually go on eBay and I purchase a grade level math book for my kids. And I get the used versions. I got Solomon's for like $4, but with shipping. I'm going to be looking for Sam's. He actually brought home some second grade books at the end of the school year, workbooks that were not written yet. He had 3 huge ones. And I actually considered starting with him and doing a quick review and seeing how well he could really grasp that second grade, because he's had substitutes the past 2 years of public school. So I do have this sense of urgency with Sam, and I feel like we're going to do some catch-up work at the very beginning of our lessons. So I would suggest eBay or Amazon instead of going to direct publishers to try to get a book. Also, I bought a lot of books before at our Habitat for Humanity stores, because they have excellent libraries, and homeschool families, they like to unload. If you have homeschool families around you, that's another excellent resource. Materials that they might not use anymore, offer to pay for those because they first paid for them. Or maybe do some switching out of some books that you don't need that they would like. Another thing that I'm suggesting that you do is to get on YouTube, because there's these ladies, homeschool moms, that have all these videos. I Homeschool Network. I've got them on my favorites. I started building it because back in the day I didn't do any of that social networking and watching and learning from other women. I had my local friends that we went to the park together, and we forged very strong relationships. But this online resource that is just a wealth of knowledge and tips, especially organizational tips, which I need because I'm kind of scatterbrained a little bit. That's why I have to do the type agenda. Maybe people would not need to be as like straight down like me, but that's something that helps me help the kids. Let me see. I wanted to share with you in grade. In grade is something that used to be in our schools until Pearson kind of brought in some new programs for us. But when I homeschooled Solomon in the past, I found his in grade sheets. We would go in and I would put in the assignments, but I gave him the login code and I made him build his own grading. Based on the work that I had already graded. I would have him to go in and put those grades in. So that's going to be something that we're going to continue to do. I still have my old lesson plan book that I used with Solomon, and I had it, it's like a little grade book checkoff sheet that I bought at School Tools, and or one of the, like a educational tools school supply store. You can get the traditional teacher grade books, but those things are so big and bulky. I mean, to me, I don't need all of that. The attendance sheet I got offline from the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, so it's already there. So I'm just checking his attendance as we go along on those sheets and using those as documentation. But I thought in-grade was really successful with Solomon last time, and I'm going to use that again. There is a website that I learned about just yesterday, and I flipped. I was so happy, and it's called Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. I've got it pulled up. The website is allinonehomeschool.com. Please go check this awesome website out, and I am so grateful for this mom for putting all of this together for us, because she's got pretty much everything under the sun as far as curriculum goes. It's really awesome stuff, and as a public school teacher, it's so comparative to what I've seen in public schools. I'm just so impressed with it. We actually pulled Solomon's mythology and his social studies, mythology and ancient cultures, and his art appreciation and Spanish 1 through this. Then I went online and I found other websites that built other like interactive websites for these units, and I went on Solomon's Yahoo account. Each one of your kids should have a Yahoo or a Gmail account, or fix them up an email, so that way you can directly send them the links that you want them to go to, instead of just saying go look this up or go try to find this or go try to research this, and then they're just getting on all kinds of different websites that are not going to be either appropriate, or they're not going to have the correct information, or they're not from valid, credible sources. So that is a way that you can make sure that at these early stages they're researching what they need to research. And it's going to give them the best of the information. And for Sam, I need to know on that reading level too, so I need to check to make sure what I'm sending him he can be able to do. So what I did with the websites, I went through this Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool, and I took the astronomy, the Greek mythology, and the ancient cultures, like I said, and the Spanish. Then I went online and I found the other supplemental websites, and I built it on one screen, and I called it our Greek mythology unit. Now this is just part one, because my brain's still working through this, and I know that I'm going to find some more excellent resources, but I was really pleased with what I put together last night. I'm always thinking and trying to improve, but I went ahead and made his first week of lessons for that unit the website links. So what I'll do is, if I make him the agenda, for example, and I have check your email, go to this website link, or if I find a new one and I have to handwrite it down, like you can see I handwrote, handwrite in, don't just say, oh man, I wish I would have used that, but go ahead and start forwarding all of these emails, and that way you're keeping your units also on through your sent folder of your email. So at the end of the unit, you can reflect on what you liked, what you didn't like, and you can build off of those. And That way I can do them from multiple computers. I don't have to just have it in a favorites or a bookmark and then my computer has a virus or it crashes and I'm gone. I can use Google Drive, or I can go ahead and have these on emails, and I can have everything saved by units and dates. So I was really excited when I hit send on that email last night. I called Solomon in and I said, son, after we had done all of our talking and planning, and I showed him everything, and he was like, cool, I want to start with that. I want to start with this one. I want to do this and this. So he was actually sitting beside me as we were investigating all of these different websites. As far as the foreign language goes, I've looked at different programs, and I've decided to do what my friend suggested. She's using a Spanish one on the Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. I'm using that. I found another online Spanish one, and I'm also going to buy Instant Immersion. I bought it at Sam's Club and it was $29, but they also have it at on Amazon or online. And I used the Italian box with Solomon before. Well, now they've got an online version. So we're probably going to go with that. Solomon actually lost 2 of the Italian discs from the box. So, and you know how discs can get scratched and all that. So I'm thinking we're going to just go ahead and purchase the online version. But now this Spanish, now I have special reason to learn Spanish because we had Greek and Hebrew actually on my bucket list. And I wanted to learn that for biblical studies. But now, for my soulmate, we're doing Spanish first. And we're going to be learning it together as a family. So I'm really excited, not just for the kids and the learning opportunities that they're going to have, but being a homeschool mom, man, my brain is constantly working and growing, and I'm learning so much, and I embrace knowledge. So I'm just so excited myself to see what's all in these books and what are we going to learn. We're reading the Odyssey. I've read that, but Myths and Legends, look how cool this. Oh, I'm just going to love it. So that's pretty much how I've been planning since the past month that we decided to do this. I've started going to stores, going to the thrift stores, buying here and there, and then going through all of my old things and trying to see, kind of refresh my memory, because I forgot I did end grade until I saw his stuff, which is funny because when I started back public school, it's like I was clueless on how to use technology stuff. But I actually have the end grade sheet, so I'm like, gosh, I forgot. I've already pulled up end grade again. So, if you guys have any tips for me starting out, I'm going to be starting in just a little over a month. So I'm going to be making a series of these videos. Maybe it can help somebody, but maybe you guys can help me. So I'm kind of doing it in hopes that my homeschool community out there will say, hey, check this website out. Hey, do this, do that. Because if it was not for my sweetheart, dear, close friend Christine, I would not have known about Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool. I just haven't done as much online research. I've been doing my schoolwork, writing a devotional, and I've been doing a lot of other things. And now it's kind of hit me, calendar kind of hit me square in the face yesterday. And I was like, okay, I got to build Sam a website. I got to build, I got to start sending Solomon emails. I got to start sending, Sam, little activities to do, and finding him games to do. And so how we can make our 5 hours just filled with the most learning opportunities, a day that they can get. So please pray for me, and I'll be praying for you. And I hope that you guys have a blessed one. Please leave comments for me under if you have websites or links, or any other YouTube video groups that are blogs or anything that you could recommend that could help me. It would be such a blessing to me. So I hope that you guys can even understand in this 34-minute video all the stuff. not that you can't understand it, but just follow it, because I think I talked a little too fast and I didn't realize that the video was this long. So I'm kind of sorry it went that long. I probably could have done this in 2 sections. But have a blessed one. Okay, bye.